Hello, this is Joe with a quick history overview of the Boeing 737. William E. Boeing originally started his company in 1916. Boeing's first design was the Boeing Model 1, which first flew in June of 1916, a month before the company was founded. He also helped create the United Aircraft and Transportation Corporation, known as United Airlines today. Mr. Boeing was inducted into the National Aviation Hall of Fame in 1966, 10 years after his death. The Boeing 737 is a narrow-body aircraft produced at Everett and Renton factories in Washington, developed to supplement the Boeing 727 on short and thin routes. The small twin-engine jet retains the 707 fuselage with 6 abreast seating, but with 2 underwing turbofans instead of 4. Originally envisioned in 1964, the first 737-100 made its first flight in April of 1967 and entered service in February of '68. The 737-200 with its lengthened fuselage entered service in April of '68 as well. The -100 and 200 original variants were powered by the Pratt & Whitney JT8D low bypass engines and offered seating between 85 and 130 passengers. Introduced in 1984, the 737 Classic -300, 400, 500 variants were upgraded with the CFM56-3 turbofans and offered seating of 110 to 168. In 1997, the 737 NGs, or next generation, -600, 700, 800, 900 variants, have updated CFM56-7 turbofans and a larger wing and an upgraded glass cockpit, with seating between 108 passengers to 215. The -700 is what's currently being shown on screen. The newest generation, the 737 MAX, -7, 8, 9, and 10, are powered by an improved CFM LEAP -1B high bypass turbofans, with seating between 138 to 204 people, and first entered service in 2017. Boeing business jet versions have been produced since the NG, as well as military models. In the beginning, its main competitor was the McDonnell Douglas DC-9, followed by its MD-80 and MD-90 derivatives. The 737 was the best-selling commercial aircraft until being eclipsed by the Airbus A320 in 2019. The MAX was designed to compete with the A320neo. The MAX was grounded in March of 2019 following 2 fatal crashes, and was reintroduced in November of 2020. The initial concept had a design similar to the 727, with podded engines on the aft fuselage and a T-tail. Engineer Joe Sutter relocated the engines to underneath the wings, which lightened the structure and simplified the accommodation of 6 abreast seating in the fuselage. The engine nacelles were mounted directly to the underside of the wing without pylons, allowing the landing gear to be shortened. The lower sitting aircraft improved baggage and passenger access. Relocating the engines also allowed the horizontal stabilizer to be attached to the aft fuselage instead of as a T-tail. At the time, Boeing was far behind its competitors, such as the SE-210 Caravelle, and planes such as the DC-9 and Fokker F-28 were already into flight certification. Boeing used 60% of the structure and systems of the existing 727, expediting development. Lufthansa became the first launch customer in February of 1965 with an order for 21 aircraft. In April of 65, United Airlines also made an order for 40 737s, but wanted slightly larger capacity, so the fuselage was stretched to accommodate more passengers. The longer version was designated the Dash 200, with the original short body being the Dash 100. The first 737-100 rolled out on January 17, 1967, and took its maiden flight on April 9, 1967. After several test flights, the FAA issued its type certificate, certifying the 737-100 for commercial flight on December 15, 1967. The Dash 200's inaugural flight for United Airlines took place on April 28, 1968, from Chicago to Grand Rapids. While the 737 lost its spot as the highest-selling commercial aircraft by Airbus A320 family in 2019, it still has a record for total deliveries. The 737 has gone through several design iterations and upgrades over the decades. One is the removal of the eyebrow windows right above the main glare shield that were a feature on the 707 and 727, allowing for better visibility. Contrary to popular belief, these windows were not intended for celestial navigation. With modern avionics, the windows became redundant, and many pilots placed newspapers or other objects in them to block out the glare of the sun. Engine upgrades allowed for better performance and lower fuel cost, but also posed an engineering challenge given the low ground clearance of the Boeing 737, originally designed intentionally for ease of maintenance on the engines, and passenger and luggage accessibility. The 737 uses hydro-mechanical flight control systems similar to the Boeing 707 and was typical of the period the 737 was originally designed. The 737 Next Generation series introduced LCD glass cockpit screens. The 737 MAX introduced four 15-inch LCD screens manufactured by Rockwell Collins and derived from the Boeing 787 Dreamliner. Later variants of the 737 introduced winglets on the wingtips to reduce drag and improve fuel efficiency. The largest operator of the Boeing 737 is Southwest Airlines. As of October 2023, total of 878, with Ryanair in second with 443. PMDG Boeing 737 NG series for Microsoft Flight Simulator is highly detailed and fun to fly if you like realism. It is a must-buy for any sim pilot. Thank you for watching and have a good day.